Hey, what is up guys? It's Excuse Me, I'm Jack, and welcome to my first Jurassic World tutorial. So, this is going to be part 1. We're going to be doing it on Isla Nublar 2015. We're going to be using the creative mode. We're going to be only having the Jurassic World buildings, and we're only going to be using the Jurassic World staff and guests. So, hope you guys enjoy this. We're setting up the park, setting up the lagoon area, and let's just see how this turns out. No, I don't complete the entire build in this video. I'm just simply setting up the thing for the future builds. So, the first thing you have to do, get rid of all the trees. The reason I didn't start this in the flattening mode was because the monorail wasn't there. I don't know why they don't include the monorail or something, but they don't when it's flattened. So I basically just took it off the world in creative and just got rid of all the trees. Okay, so I used the bulk demolish. I find it easier than just using the tree tool. Again, this is with no mods, so you're gonna see me not using mods. After that you use the bulk demolish, you want to go through the park and get rid of the remaining trees that it leaves, because it doesn't clear out everything, but it clears out most of the stuff. Then you just want to get rid of the water, because the water is just going to be a nuisance later on. And then you're going to want to get rid of the control center, because we're not actually going to make it like in the layout that they have it for the Jurassic World Chaos Theory. I decided to make the lagoon kind of farther away from the initial monorail station because I wanted more space behind the innovation center, so I could make the gyrospheres, the Gallimimus Valley, and the Cretaceous cruise, and also have a decent amount of space on the left side and on the right side, so I could make the other stuff like the T-Rex Kingdom and the Gentle Giants petting zoo in the pack arena. Okay, so I set up just a lagoon randomly. I didn't really plan where I was gonna put the lagoon, but it's mostly in the bottom part of the map, bottom like left part, and I'm currently trying to like make the lagoon look as similar as it is in the picture, the shape of the lagoon. But at the same time, I also wanted the viewing galleries to kind of look alright. And I placed the viewing galleries, but I delete them later on because I don't like how there's just that one gap area that doesn't like look like right. So I delete that and I basically just fill in the rest of the lagoon. Okay. After that, I'm just trying to make it look kind of similar to what the picture looked like. And then I place down my viewing galleries again because I want that like overview of the shark feeder. And I also get rid of the 2 mounds that I have because the mounds I wanted to have like how it like goes out like 3 times, but I can't really do that with the lagoons because you can't really put paths over the lagoons, so I just decided to make it like a straight flat line. Okay, then this is pretty much it for the lagoon. I decide to now flatten around the edges of the lagoon, so that takes a little bit of time. It kind of lags. I don't know if that happens with you guys, but it lags quite a bit when you're messing with the flattening tool. Okay. So you do that along the edges. Okay. Note that you don't have to really plan where the lagoon is going to be. Just place it and make it like kind of centered, but at the same time make it also that you have some space underneath it so you can put the beach and the hotels. Okay, So I just use this time just to flatten out some of the rest of the map. Nothing really special. Again, this isn't really necessary. Again, most of the stuff in this video isn't really necessary. You don't have to, you know, 100% copy me. I'm just giving you guys like a tutorial, and you guys can, you know, build off of it later on, or you can just add your own things to it, you know. But this is just the basic type of tutorial. I'm going to be going through it again after the build and adding a few more details, just because, you know, the first go through is not going to have like a lot of details. I'm going to go through it again to add the details on my on a separate video, because like, you know, I'm gonna miss some things obviously, and you guys are gonna comment, and then, you know, I'm gonna see what I missed. But basically, just in this video, what I do is I set up the lagoon and set up some of the main street area. I set up the main street, like actual main street, but there's still a few shops that need to be placed down after. Okay, so I try to make the beach kind of like this. Again, I can't really make 100% like accurate thing, so there's some like creative freedom in this. So I add sand to just try to have the beach. Later on, I'm gonna add some trees. Like in a future video, I'm gonna add some trees to try to make it look like the trees that are in the picture. Sorry again if some of the videos are, or some of the pictures are kind of grainy. I pulled this off of the fandom website. So I wanted to set up the hotels like the image that's gonna show up right now. I wanted to set them up like those two hotels, and you can constantly see me go back at that angle, yeah, like right here, and see how it would look. But at the same time, two hotels didn't really seem correct. This is from like a TV spot, I believe. I set it to daytime too, so I don't know if you guys want to do that. You guys might have already done that because the nighttime kind of gets annoying. But you know, I add another hotel just, you know, just because, just so there's, in that angle, you can see more stuff. I didn't know what I really wanted to do for the pathways. I apparently don't set up the pathways right now. I set up the monorail. Okay, yeah, I set up the monorail. So, originally I thought the monorail went through the viewing galleries, but I was incorrect. It goes like just past the viewing galleries. So I, you know, have it just outside of the beach a little bit, and I add a monorail station, just so I can have the monorail go back and forth through there. Again, creative freedoms. I know the monorail station isn't there, like, in the actual park. But yeah. Anyways, I leave the monorail as it is now, because I still have to build a main street area, and I recently just found out the monorail doesn't connect from, like, in that way to the monorail that I'm going to set up later on. So I'm going to try to figure out that issue later on in a future video. But anyways, the pathways. So I try to like clear up the terrain on the outside of the sand, try to make it look more defined that this is a beach area instead of like, you know, just random sand. And I also put some pathways, like the smaller pathways that I believe I changed to the wide pathways along the outside of the sand to make it look like you know, those beaches that have like the biking paths or whatever. So I did that, and I didn't really know what to do for the pathways here, like the main pathways for the hotel area. So I basically just connect them. I do the same thing with the like biking paths here as well. I kind of like how that turned out. It kind of like divided the area. But yeah, I didn't know what to do with these pathways though. Like, I, I really wish that there was an actual layout that you could like see and try to copy. That would be amazing. I would be using something like that. Anyways, I connect them. I delete some of the pathway because it doesn't seem right that it's just like a 90-degree angle. So I connect them to the... I believe I connect them to the center hotel pathway in the future. Yeah, I do that. Okay. I kind of like that. Yeah, I like that. Looks nice. I like the beach area. I kind of forgot about the beach the last time. So this is me kind of improving. This is my version 2 of the Jurassic World. So I'm actually gonna be trying to make this one look better. But yeah. Anyways, I fill in the rest of the sand. Try to make it go as much as, like, you know, to the edge as possible. Then I also try to remove the sand on the other side of the pathways to make it more like divided. But then I find an issue that the sand blends with the grass on the outside. So I fixed that. Then I actually start setting up the path for the Main Street area. Okay. So I went like a tail out from the lagoon, and then I tried to decide where the Main Street was going to be. And I went to the center lagoon, little center circle, and then try to go to the middle of that circle like as much as possible. And then I do two tails on the outside of the center pathway. And then I make these 2 boxes on the side because I want to later curve it and connect it to the things, to the ends of the 2 boxes, because I want them to be like symmetrical. Yeah. Okay. I make this a small pathway because I want to make this 3 pathway like lengths long or widths long, because I feel like the Main Street area should be big. Note that I add another like one on the sides for the width. I remove that later on because I don't like how that looks. I didn't like how that turned out. So I just decided to like stick with 3 width pathways or thoroughfares. Instead of having it go out one like what I'm doing now. So you can just ignore this part. You can just keep it 3 pathways long instead of having it 5 pathways long, because I kind of underestimated the sizing of the shops. So yeah, just keep it 3 pathways long instead of having it 5 like I'm doing now. That was a mistake. Okay. Yeah, I like how it's turning out. Again, I noticed that I don't really do a lot. Most of it was just me planning what I was going to do. But with this specific build, what happens is that the back side of the like innovation center, like behind it, has a lot of actual space for you to build things. That was my main issue with the original build that I did back in November. I found out that that building was that build was, it had very limited space, and I really want to add an aviary as well. So this actually allows me to put an aviary in the back. It enables me to actually use a lot of the stuff. Okay, so I believe I placed some medium amenities down. I later changed them to large amenities because I just didn't like how the medium ones were way too small. Like, they're way too small for the actual Main Street area. Um, but yeah, I also okay. So I also I didn't know what to do for the two ends of Main Street since they're like have the Jurassic traders from the first game. I really miss the original shops. Like I was excited that they were gonna do some customization stuff, but I really wish that they added like some of the original shop stuff in the game. Like, of course you have like that one entrance that was like the restaurant entrance, but like I missed being able to have the ends of the buildings actually, you know, look right, like the Margaritaville, and have the Jurassic Traders like exactly similar to how they look in the actual movie. So, yeah, I go back and forth playing with the entrance design. Um, yeah, it kind of sucks that they, you know, removed it. But I try to make it as similar as it is to this image. Um, Again, it's a very low definition image, so I couldn't really see correctly. But all I got from it was that there was a type of like parapet, and then there was trees on the side. So that's what I did. I added the trees and stuff. And I also wanted to go for something that kind of gave me the Jurassic Traders vibe. So mine was either the form or the leisure wear or the um, key rings. But I went with the leisure wear because, you know, I thought it was more of just a, it kind of, I don't know, it just kind of fit a little bit more. Um, then I also do the coloring. So most of my buildings are gonna be this colored. So if you can see the image, um, the base of the building is kind of like green, but like at the same time there's a lot of spots that are brown. So what I decided to go with was like a darker brown, and I decided to go with um I believe it was green for decorations, if I'm correct. But I mostly went with brown for the coloring. Okay. And then I set up this one as well. So I basically do the same thing on the other side, but instead of having this one as a parapet, I believe I just keep the umbrellas on top with the seating with plants. And then I add the trees there too. Because that's how it is on the top of this building. You can kind of see the umbrellas on the top of Margaritaville. But yeah, I chose to go with non-alcoholic bill, non-alcoholic beer, as the sign, because you know, it looks like that's the closest you can get to the Margaritaville. Um, but this is when I noticed that the actual Main Street kind of was too big. So what I did was oh no, I actually already did it. I didn't even see that. That's an issue when you don't even see yourself do that. Um, but yeah, you know, I'm over here deciding if I want to go with the restaurant, like, you know, large entrance, or if I want to go with the medium entrance that has kind of like the half circle. But at this current time, I go with the restaurant entrance, but later on I change it to the half circle, kind of medium one. Okay, so the next image, the next low definition image that you will see is the other restaurants. So on the left side, most of them have parapets as the ceiling, as the main roof decoration, except for the last restaurant that's the closest to the innovation center. That is seating with like a roof. I don't know what the decoration's called, but it's what the it's what the amenity has currently on the left side. So yeah. Anyways, I add a restroom because it kind of looks like the um shop that's in the middle of the pathway that you can kind of see that they hide in from the Indominus in the movie. So kind of add a restroom there, and there's also a shop behind it. It looks like. So I add a shop later on and behind there as well. Um, over here I'm trying to remove the grass. I'm trying to remove the grass between the pathway and the restroom, but that didn't really turn out well. But yeah, I decided to add a shop behind there, because there's a shop there. Most of the stuff on the right side has, actually I don't know what most of the stuff on the right side has. I forgot what he did for decorations here. But yeah. So yeah, I changed the amenities to what I feel like they would be. Again, the ones that I only really remember are the Jurassic Traders on the left side end, the Margaritaville on the right side end. Then you have a restaurant on the left side near the Innovation Center, and then you have I believe it's a Starbucks on the right side closest to the Innovation Center. Okay. So I kind of found out that Main Street isn't that big. I used to make like all my recreations of Main Street like huge. But I found out that this is just enough. But then I go through all the different decorations for the shops. Or no, I don't. I decide to go for the arcade. So the Dave and Buster's, again, I missed the original shops from the first game. And you can't really recreate the shops. So what I try to do is I try to recreate it. I go for like the gray metallic triangles. At first I thought it was a cinema. There is an IMAX there though, huh? So I'm gonna have to do that later on when I build the T-Rex enclosure. Okay. So I decided to go for... I finally changed it to an arcade actually. Um, just because I kind of forgot that it was an arcade. Okay. So I decided to go for the kind of half circle entrance instead of like the flat entrance. Just because I kind of wanted to give it some type of uniqueness. Okay. I also didn't really know what to add on the outside, so I added the chairs. I think I might change that later to canopies. Anyways, yeah, I didn't really know what to do for the coloring for the, like, secondary colors. So I decided to go with the, like, I think it was a bluish. So I decided to go with, like, the bluish color. And for the actual main color, I decided to go for, like, some type of red. Because you can see that on the picture. The main building frame is, like, red. And, like, those lines are blue. It kind of sucks that the actual red color takes up a lot of the space. I feel like there could have been a better color. I don't know, I feel like the red just takes up too much space. Like, it was either between the red or the gray, but I went with the red because I already have the gray metallic triangles. So I decided to go with the red instead. Okay, so yeah, I go through all the different types of styles they can have for the outside, and I think I go with the canopies. Yeah, I go with the canopies. Okay, I thought I did. Anyways, this is when I start to do the designs for the actual um, other buildings. So I try to use this image as best as I can. It's the same image as before, where the left side has mostly parapets. Um, so I try to just do this, and I try to like make it feel kind of Jurassic World-y. Um, but for the ground decorations though, I try to keep like, you know, how it looks. Um, you know, trees, tables. I think I replace the tables on the other one with trees, I believe. But again, I go with like some blue umbrellas for one of these buildings because the outside umbrellas actually are blue. But you could just look through all the settings that I'm going through, um, and then pause where I decide what I want to use. Yeah, I basically just switch what I had planned. I add the trees here, and then I have the umbrellas there, and then I change the color of the umbrellas to like blue because the outside umbrellas on the main street are blue. So you know, little detail. Of course, if you guys notice anything, tell me so I can actually change it, and so you can actually change it for yourselves as well. Let everyone else know. But I decided to go with the seating with the canopy because the last building has the canopy, or has something similar to a canopy. So that's that. I want to add more tables and chairs though on the actual pathway later on. I don't do that in the video, but you know, you guys can just add a couple of tables and chairs um, to make the actual main street area not look isolated. Um, but yeah. Okay, and the right side buildings. Oh no, I don't. Oh, okay. Yeah, I set most of the buildings to panels, Jurassic World panels instead of Jurassic World concrete, because I like how the panels looked. But on most of the right side buildings, I put the entrances on like the angled side, going towards the bathroom. Um, I don't do it right now, but I do it later. Um, because I feel like, you know, that's like the main intersection, so I decided to do it there. But yeah. Again with the monorail in the background, I know that the gate doesn't really make sense. The monorail doesn't make sense. But I wanted to keep that there just for the gate, even though it doesn't connect to the monorail at all. There goes my dog, okay. But yeah. Alright, so I changed the buildings a little bit, and then I also delete the main pathway for the Innovation Center. Note that you're gonna see some changes in the actual video that I do, but I delete later on. But right now I'm just trying to like make the Innovation Center actually level out, since the locking is like, since the snapping isn't really good. So I try to make it like as centered as possible. Okay. And I kind of realized that the Innovation Center actually has the stairs as they are supposed to, like, in the movie. So I decided not to add anything else to like the side of the Innovation Center. Because if you notice on my first version of this, I add something to the front of the Innovation Center, like this big walking area, and I kind of didn't realize that the Innovation Center actually, you know, had everything that it was supposed to have. Like it has planners and all that stuff. So I just have it there. And the next thing that I do is just sit here, apparently. I'm looking at the reference to see if I actually have to add anything here, but I don't. So I connect the pathway in the middle, and I go to the sides and start somewhere off in the middle, so I can make a straight line on both sides, and then I connect that to the main pathway, so it kind of has like a walk around a little bit. Okay. Then I fill in the 2 little triangles with the fancy pathways, and you know, that's just for my creative freedom, and I'm just gonna put some umbrellas there or something. And then I do that right here too. I connect it to a snapping point on this pathway. Okay. And then I do that again on the outside, and then I connect it to the snapping point. I can't really define where the snapping point is, but you know, the snapping point's just randomly there. Okay. And then from here, what I do is I start to make the area for the T-Rex Kingdom that we're going to be doing in a separate video. Just to keep this whole like series short, even though this video is 45 minutes long. This one might be just the longest one in the whole series, just because we're kind of setting up the entire thing. Okay, so we just set up our little viewing gallery so we know where the thing is going to be. Okay, so I'm going to set up the few decorations that are in the Main Street area. Note that these will change over time. I just kind of want to set up some of the decorations. Kind of sucks that some of the decorations don't exist, like the statue, like the Spinosaurus statue, or the amber piece. I feel like they should have that in the game, but oh well. So I kind of set this stuff up, and I just add planters, and I wanted to add I wanted to get rid of those grass areas next to the bathroom. So, because you know, those were bugging me earlier, so I get rid of that. Note that everything in front of the Innovation Center doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It doesn't exist at all. But yeah, now I just add the banners on the sides just because, you know, they're in the picture. I didn't really have any specific areas where I wanted to do, so I just did them on the ends of the shops. I couldn't really see how separate they were, so I just added a whole bunch of different colored ones. You can kind of tell that I missed the free build mod. Yeah. I'm gonna do the same thing to the other side. But yeah, I need to add more decorations later on though to the actual Main Street area. But yeah. I'll also do the side buildings when I do the other types of builds, so like the buildings on the right side, I'll do when I do the petting zoo, and the buildings on the left side I'll do when I do the T-Rex area. Okay. But yeah. Then this is where I just delete everything that I have, and that's where in the clip before this happens, so I kind of set it so it doesn't interfere with this, because I didn't like how this turned out. But anyways, that's our finished product for that. And so I set up the monorail station, but I will prove that in like a few seconds, because I didn't know where the monorail went, because I was trying to look at the picture. Originally I thought that the monorail connected from the left side of the lagoon to the monorail that was behind the Innovation Center, but I think the monorail behind the Innovation Center only has one entrance that's on the right side, so I didn't really understand what was going on there, so that was something that I had to change. But yeah, I basically make the monorail go behind the T-Rex area, and I also connect these with the tails and the small pathways, so that I can fit the thoroughfares closer to the actual building. Okay, then I replace some of the pathways that I accidentally put as the other pathways. Okay, then I move the monorail station because I kind of realized I was kind of to the left side, and then I connect the monorail behind what the T-Rex kingdom is going to be. I'm gonna change this later on though, because the monorail doesn't actually connect there. Originally, the monorail comes from the gate on the left side, and it goes through the gate instead of going to the left side to the Innovation Center. Okay, but I just basically connect the pathways. I kind of want to get like a better angle, curved angle in this one. Okay, and then I connect this pathway. I just follow the edge. Okay, and I'm kind of struggling here as well, but I just delete it anyways, because I decide to connect the main pathway to the actual entrance of the park, which I'm gonna pretend is not even there. Okay, but yeah, I connected here. And this is not even gonna have to do anything later on. That's just gonna be the entrance. I'll probably set up a monorail there, just for the guests. But, I'm not gonna really worry about the requirements for the buildings. But, yeah. Okay. Now the final thing that we had to do was build the mountain behind, since we kind of flattened the area, and because they're not using the pre-built operations area, or the control center. So I'm building the mountain where the control center is going to be. So you kind of want to mess with the terrain a little bit behind there. This should be perfect. I kind of messed with it more because I kind of didn't know what I was doing. But that should be like the perfect height, like as much as you can go as possible right now. Because the control center actually isn't that far from the innovation center when you look at the pictures. But yeah, I decided to go up higher, make the mountain bigger, even though I didn't need to. Plus this monorail is not even going to be here anymore. But the backside of this mountain is going to be used for the Gallimimus Valley though, where the monorail actually like goes along the edge. Obviously that's not completely accurate to the map. It can't be as accurate to the map because, you know, it's the size restrictions. So I I'm gonna use this backside of the mountain as like the Gallimimus Valley area, like where the monorail goes along. I'm just like messing with the terrain. You might want to do this. I just noticed that it's way too big. Yeah, I'm just leveling out the terrain. Okay. Then I decided to put the control center down finally. Okay. And I just kind of smooth out the edges of the mountain and I add the trees to make up the little fill. Okay. Again, I'm going to use the backside of this mountain in a future video, so you might not want to fill the backside up with trees. I'm also not going to really worry about the path not being connected to that building, since that path isn't going to be there anyways. The backside of the mountain is going to be used later on, and then we have our innovation set up. But that is pretty much it. I'm just filling the rest of the map up with some trees, but that was the end of the first episode, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later.